What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be installing a fuel pressure gauge on this 2003 Nissan 350Z. It's going to go right in here. This is the fuel line coming from the tank. It goes through this little valve right here. Most cars have a little opening where you can plug in a external fuel pressure gauge, but this car doesn't have it, so we have to install this part. And you'll see soon kind of how it goes together. It'll be a quick and easy way to get a fuel pressure reading on this car. And this car's been giving us a ton of trouble. It's my buddy's. Hasn't ran a couple weeks. Just randomly started running super rough. Bunch of misfires and stuff. We had the intake all the way apart a couple times. We did new injectors, knock sensor harness. We did a throttle body. We did 6 new injectors. We did a new PCV valve over here. We did all new intake manifold gaskets and 6 new spark plugs, a new coil pack, and still nothing. So now we're trying to troubleshoot the fuel system and kind of verify everything's good there before we either change the fuel pump or determine that it's not a fuel issue. So without further ado, I'm going to get this box opened up and we'll get into it. Should be easy, just these 2 bolts here and thread in the gauge, and we'll go from there. The gauge, and this is the spacer with the port on the side. Big shout out to Z1, thank you. Alright, it's just 2 10mm bolts right here. It is going to leak some fuel when we pop it out, so I'm going to throw some shop towels underneath it once I get these bolts all the way out. It doesn't thread in there or anything, it just pushes in there and has an O-ring on it. Try and wedge these guys under here to catch some of that extra fuel. And yep, there we go. That's all there is to it. So yeah, it's just like the other one. It's got a O-ring on this bottom thing that's going to slide down into the fitting, and these 2 big bolts on the left and right will hold it in place. And then the old one fits into the top. So this is almost like a little spacer, and it has the port on one side and another port on the other side. And I think they're different threads. BPST 28 and BT 27. Nice piece, high quality. I like the black finish too. There's the gauge. I feel like it's going to be NPT. Actually it might not be. I'm gonna crack this open, we'll see if it fits in there. It's biting. I think it's the other one. It's a 50-50, I guessed wrong. Yeah, it's the NPT. So I'm just gonna thread this other one back in. I'm going to wrap this in some tape, make sure it seals. I think this other one's okay. We'll see when we get on the car. We'll check for leaks and stuff. All right, we got it all assembled. The gauge is on there, it's threaded, it's on there straight. We'll be able to read it. And the plug is taped up and sealed on the other side. So now we'll just put it back on top of the motor. I'm gonna crank this real quick. All right, she's reading right at 50 PSI, 51 maybe. Right at 50 it looks like, so I believe that's a healthy fuel pressure. So it looks like we don't need a fuel pump. That's good. When she was not idling, just with the pump on, it was reading about 40, 41. And then the information I found online said it needed to be 51, so idling is 51. That should tell us the fuel system is fine. So now we have a fancy fuel gauge there.